The psychology of money, the 12 mindset shifts that quietly make you wealthy.
Let me start with a question. Why do two people with the same income, same education, and same opportunities end up with completely different financial lives? One becomes stable, confident, free. The other stressed, overwhelmed, stuck. It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not even discipline, it's behavior. How you think about money quietly shapes everything you do with it. Today, we're breaking down the most powerful ideas from the psychology of money. Not as a book summary, but as a 20-minute mindset upgrade that will permanently change how you approach wealth, risk, habits, and long-term thinking. If you stay until the end, you'll leave with a new story about money, and maybe even a new story about yourself. Let's begin. Everyone lives in their own financial world. Here's something most people never consider. Every financial decision you make is shaped by the past you lived, not the data you read. Maybe you grew up in scarcity. Maybe you grew up comfortable. Maybe you saw layoffs, credit card debt, divorce, or boom years. Whatever you lived becomes the logic behind your financial behavior. So when someone does something that looks stupid, it might actually be perfectly reasonable for the life they've experienced. You're not irrational. You're interpreting money through your own memories. Think about your money behavior for a moment. Where did it come from? Your parents? A bad job experience? A moment when you felt insecure? Knowing your origin story is the first step toward changing it. Luck and risk, the invisible forces running the show. We love to explain success with simple stories. She worked hard. He made smart investments. But luck and risk play a bigger role than we like to admit. Two people can have the same skill, but one gets a lucky break. The other gets hit by a random catastrophe. You'll never see all the hidden variables behind someone's financial life. And because we can't see it, we oversimplify the story. Here's the mindset shift. Be careful who you praise and who you judge. And maybe most importantly, be kind to yourself. You're not behind. You're just on a path with its own set of invisible factors. Never enough. The silent destroyer of wealth. Let me open a loop here. How much money would it take for you to never want more? Most people don't have a number. And that's dangerous. Because wanting just a little more is the mindset that turns good decisions into reckless ones. The truth is simple. If you can't define enough, you will never feel wealthy. Money doesn't end the game. Greed does. If you've ever felt pressure to upgrade your life just because everyone around you is doing it, understand this. You're playing someone else's game, and no one wins that way. Compounding, the quiet superpower. If there's one idea in this entire video that can transform your life, it's this. Wealth is built by time, not genius. Warren Buffett made over 90% of his net worth after age 60. He's not extraordinary because he's the smartest investor. He's extraordinary because he's been investing since he was a child. Compounding is slow at first. It's boring. It's invisible. And then, suddenly, it's unstoppable. But here's the catch. Compounding only works if you don't interrupt it. Not by panic selling, not by chasing trends, not by giving up because progress looks small. Your job isn't to be perfect. Your job is to stay in the game. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. These are two different skills. You get wealthy by being bold. You stay wealthy by being humble. There's a reason so many lottery winners go broke, and why so many first-generation millionaires lose everything. The habits that build wealth aren't the same habits that protect it. Here's the mindset shift. Save like a pessimist, invest like an optimist. Have a margin of safety, hold cash. Prepare for the unexpected. But when you invest, believe in the long-term future. That blend creates resilience. Freedom, the highest dividend money pays. Let's open another loop. What if the ultimate goal of money isn't luxury, but control? The ability to wake up and choose what your day looks like. To say yes when you want. To say no when you need to. Most people don't crave a mansion. They crave mornings without alarms, afternoons with family, evenings without stress. Money can buy freedom, and freedom is the most valuable currency there is. Ask yourself, how can I use money to buy back my time? That's true wealth. Saving is behavior, not math. People believe they need a higher income to save, but that's a myth. You don't need more money. You need a different story. I've met people making $40,000 who save more than people making $200,000. Why? Because saving is a behavioral skill. It's the skill of saying, I want options more than I want upgrades. Saving isn't sacrifice. It's self-respect. It's you choosing your future over someone else's expectations. Reasonable beats rational. Here's a counterintuitive truth. The best financial plan is the one you can actually stick to. Not the perfect plan. Not the mathematical maximum. The one that aligns with your personality. If you need a bigger emergency fund to feel safe, do it. If you prefer simple investments instead of optimizing every edge, do it. If you sleep better ignoring your portfolio, that's wisdom, not weakness. Money is emotional, so your strategy needs to respect your psychology, not fight it. The world is always changing. Most financial advice assumes the future will look like the past. But nothing in history repeats exactly. Technology changes, economies shift, entire industries disappear. And because we rely on old patterns, we're always surprised by new events. So instead of predicting, prepare. Hold assets that can survive a range of outcomes. Stay adaptable. Expect volatility. When you accept uncertainty, you stop fearing it. You will change, and so will your goals. One of the biggest mistakes people make is acting like their current desires are permanent. But the person you'll be in 10 years will want different things. This means two things. Don't lock your future self into extreme financial commitments. Allow your goals to evolve. Changing your mind isn't failure, it's growth. Give your future self room to breathe. Wealth is what you don't see. A fancy car doesn't tell you anything about someone's financial health. It tells you they spent money, not that they have money. Real wealth is quiet, invisible, calm. It's savings, investments, flexibility. Security, the stuff no one sees. Wealth is like the foundation of a house, buried but essential. Once you understand this, you stop trying to look rich and start working on being rich. The seduction of pessimism. Here's a psychological twist. Pessimism sounds wise. Optimism sounds childish. But almost everything humans enjoy today exists because someone believed progress was possible. In money, pessimism grabs attention, but optimism builds portfolios. This doesn't mean blind positivity. It means acknowledging that while disasters happen, progress is the long-term trend of humanity. The world is far from perfect, but over the long run, it gets better. Invest with that belief. Bringing it all together. Let's close the loops we opened. Why do two people with the same income end up with different financial lives? Because wealth is a behavioral game. Here's your new blueprint. Understand your financial upbringing. Respect luck and risk. Define enough. Let compounding work. Protect your wealth with humility. Buy back your time. Treat savings as a behavior. Choose reasonable over optimal. Prepare for surprises. Let your goals evolve. Build invisible wealth. Stay long-term optimistic. None of this requires genius. It requires awareness. You don't have to master the markets. You have to master yourself. And the best part? Anyone can do that. You deserve a life where money fuels your dreams instead of your stress. You deserve freedom. You deserve confidence. You deserve the quiet peace that comes from knowing you're building something meaningful. You don't need to sprint. You don't need perfection. You just need small decisions, repeated patiently, compounded over time. That's how ordinary people build extraordinary lives. If this video helped shift the way you think about money, consider subscribing for more of such valuable content. Thanks for spending this time with me. Now, go build the future you deserve.